And to put a serious damper on my hopes, presumably, Raymond Pierre Humbert joins us now. He's a professor of planetary physics at the University of Oxford. Professor, let's start with the basics. What exactly have these scientists found on K2-18b?
Well, they have found evidence of a sulfur compound, weak evidence of a sulfur compound called dimethyl sulfide and another related one, DMSD, which on Earth, as you say, is primarily produced by single-celled life. But there are several reasons it's a complete exaggeration to say this is strongest or even particularly strong evidence of life elsewhere. Among other things, this planet is very unlike Earth, atmospheric chemistry very unlike Earth. And so there could be many ways abiotically, without biology, to produce this this substance, even if the detection is real. For example, things related to it are made abiotically in hydrothermal vents on Earth. Also, it's been found in comets where there's essentially zero prospect of active life. So even if the detection is real, and that's still subject to debate in the future, to call this even strong evidence or the strongest evidence of life is way over the top.
You mentioned that this planet is very unlike Earth. How likely is it that this planet is actually habitable? What do we know about it?
Well, actually, the sort of physics that potentially makes this kind of planet called a sub-Neptune habitable tracks back to a paper I wrote in 2011, which showed that the greenhouse effect of hydrogen on a planet like this could actually support liquid water. However, I've been engaged in climate modeling of planets like this over the years since, and our modeling says quite firmly that this planet is way too hot to have a liquid water ocean. In fact, what's most likely is that it has a liquid rock ocean that is way too hot for any kind of life to survive in.
Now, the lead scientist says there's only a 3 in 1,000 chance that its detection is a fluke. How strong is that as an argument?
Well, one indication is that the same scientist had an earlier paper with a different instrument on the Webb telescope on this planet, which purported to detect carbon dioxide. And that was a much easier instrument to deal with, and carbon dioxide is a much easier molecule to deal with. But subsequent reanalysis really eliminated, or at least cast a lot of doubt on that detection of carbon dioxide. And so we have to reserve judgment until this data has been reanalyzed. And I know I've worked with the same instrument that this new paper is using, the instrument called MIRI LRS, which is one of the detectors on the Webb Space Telescope. And with the other planets we've been looking at, even after a year, we're finding that as we learn more about the instrument characteristics, our retrievals change. And so I would even hold back on thinking that this detection is as certain as the paper claims.
Now, you have dashed most of my hopes there, but do you think we'll be able to confirm life beyond Earth in your and my lifetime?
Oh, that's a hard question, and the question will always be, whether the signatures, the chemical signatures of life that we see, could actually be produced abiotically. I think it's likely to be another 10 to 20 years before the next generation of space telescopes can actually probe the constellation of different atmospheric chemical characteristics that would be more certainly indicative of life. But of course, we may get radio signals from aliens at some point. I'm involved in a project on that, and that would be the most certain kind of detection of all.
I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Keep listening. Professor Raymond Pierre Humbert, Professor of Planetary Physics at Oxford University. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise and hopes with us.
Thanks.